Hello and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network, and we continue to take a look on what is happening without fear, without favor. General Rugeje is in China, where he was invited by the Chinese government and the ruling party right there for a visit. And a lot of people are asking questions, what is the importance of this visit? Remember, General Rugeje is believed to be on the side or he comes from the faction of the generals, General Chiwenga's faction. So his trip to China has been seen by a lot of people as a way of trying to send a clear message that China stands with the generals. So this is something very important. We need to take a look and understand what is really happening. So what we have is that we have some pictures of General Rugeje visiting China. And these are some of the pictures which we have so far. And as you can see right there, it's General Rugeje with one of the leadership right there. I think that is the agricultural sciences principal in China whatsoever. I'm not so sure about the real position of this guy, but that is what is happening. So when we are looking at this visit, what we can understand more is that when you look at the internal ZANU-PF power positioning, General Rugeje, who is an ally of VP Chiwenga, these people have been sidelined severally by Mafidi dynasty. So by visiting China or by the invitation to China, it's a signal to the Mafidi dynasty that we know what we are doing. We know who we want within ZANU-PF. And also when you look at China-Zimbabwe strategic alignment, China is threatened when the other faction comes in, the Mafidi faction. If it comes in, if it succeeds, China is threatened because this other faction will look more to the west than to the east. And that is the reason why you see that China is probably more interested in whatever which is happening within Zimbabwe. So, you know, there are announcements of around 4 billion strategic partnerships in terms of bilateral trade between Zimbabwe and Zimbabwe. And people like Comrade Rugeje, these are people who are working so hard to make sure that that happens, because remember, he is the secretary for I think economics within ZANU-PF. So I think is the secretary for economic affairs, to be specific. So you know, he's like from the party, he's like Mtuling Mube, which means at the party level, these are people who are running the economy. So it's 50-50. Mtuli there implementing whatever which they bring, half or less than half, and trying to sabotage them, but they will continue to push to make sure that the position of China continues to be at the top. So when you look at the military cooperation and between China and Zimbabwe, there is a lot of cooperation between the two militaries to an extent that the Chinese always share some intelligence with the Zimbabwean military. So if the generals are on the side of the Chinese, it means the generals will always have top credible intelligence in terms of what is happening within Zimbabwe and within the region in terms of outmaneuvering the other factions. So it seems as if the generals, the major strategy which they use is they don't want to come on top of everything, but they try to bury everything underground. So they will let these people run around, but at a certain point in time, they will try to bury them. But the biggest problem is number one himself, because there are certain things which are then given directives which no one else could oppose, and that is the biggest problem, which is right there. So this is what is happening. The visit of Comrade Rugeje to China, it is raising a lot of issues and questions to politically people saying that what is the significance of this visit? What is the importance of this visit? And a lot of people believe that whatever happens, at the end of the day, you will see the generals prevail because they are likely begged by the Chinese. They are sharing intelligence whatsoever. However, what we have to understand is the Mafidi dynasty is mostly begged by the British, which means it will be 50-50. So I always say to the people, never even tolerate the nonsense that vanachamisa varida kutengesa nyika or vachadzosa varungu. It's the Mafidi dynasty which is having direct links with the British. And that is the reason why you are seeing varungu vachidzoka vachiuya kuzotora land in various areas, Mwenezi, Chivi, Chiredzi, all those areas. We are seeing land being grabbed by few individuals and few people. Varungu vachipfekedzerwa pakati, panoita vanhu vatema vairi, varungu vatatu, vatema vairi, varungu vatatu, vachipfekedzerana just like that. Is because it seems as if there is an agreement with the British kuti zvinhu zvinge zvifamba zvakadaro, and it won't end well within ZANU-PF. So this is what is happening in Team Zimbabwe. We will continue to look and cover what's happening in the nation of Zimbabwe without